I think we might as well start because we have the recording. So yeah, welcome to Climate Code 2021 presented by XCX Mini Vancouver. Before we begin, we want to acknowledge that our team and many of you are gathered on the unceded traditional territories of the Coast Salish people, including the Musqueam, Squamish, and Tsleil-Waututh nations. Yeah. And this is our opening ceremony. And it'll last approximately 30 minutes or so. So to begin, we would like to go through a few rules, of course. At XCX Mini, we have a simple and reasonable expectation from all our participants and guests to be professional, inclusive, and positive. By joining our event, you agree to our code of conduct, which aims to provide a welcoming and safe place for all participants at our event. If you're being harassed, notice that someone else is being harassed, or have any other concerns, please get in touch with your XCX Mini Vancouver staff immediately, who are us as panelists. We are always looking out for our participants and will willingly contact local authorities if the situation requires such an action. And we will maintain a safe environment for all our participants. And please review the complete document through the rules channel on our Discord. Yeah, you can find it in the rules channel, the complete document. And for Discord, if you have not yet already joined, please join our Discord server. It's where all the important information will be shared. And please feel free to ask questions in the questions and help channel or use our Discord bot to find teams. All the important information will either be made by the XCX Mini Vancouver bot or by one of the executives.
Yeah, so we're going to jump right into our schedule. Please note that you do not need to be present in all of the workshops. The only requirement is that you present your hack during the scheduled time on August 8th. However, we highly encourage you to attend our special guest workshops as they have plenty of insight and experience for you to draw. So right after the opening ceremony, we'll have a brainstorming workshop by our partner Earth Hacks, and just focusing on environmental and ethics for real or hypothetical tech company use cases. At 8 p.m. today, you can start hacking. And at the same time, we'll be hosting another workshop on HTML and CSS using .xyz domains, which are one of our sponsors. At 9 p.m., we'll host another workshop on an introduction to JavaScript building a game. At 10 p.m., we'll be hosting part 2 of our Discord bot programming in Python workshop. We hosted part 1 during our pre-event workshop, but you can view that at our YouTube channel. At 11 p.m., we'll be having a live Q&A from the organizing team and mentors where you can ask any questions that arise. At 12 or midnight, we'll be hosting midnight games to take a break from hacking, and it'll be hosted on Discord. And at 2 a.m., if you're still awake, we'll be hosting a movie night to also take a break from hacking. And going on to Saturday, you can start hacking whenever you want, but you can do it at 6 a.m. At 9 a.m., our sponsor will be hosting a Echo AR on building a cloud-connected AR and VR app in 15 minutes or less. And then 10 a.m., we'll be having a workshop by Leo Tian on building responsive web apps with React. At noon, we'll be having a brief overview of websites and how they work. You can continue hacking at 1 p.m. and at 2 p.m. we'll be having a pro tips for joining the video game industry presented by Kevin Hodges. At 4 p.m., we'll be having tips and tricks for jumpstarting your career by Alex Kwan, who's an engineering manager at Microsoft. And at 5 p.m., with our sponsors centered, we'll be having a flow states workshop.
All right, my name is Christina, and I'll be introducing kind of the second half of our schedule. So at 6 p.m., you'll have a workshop called Making Money with Affiliate Marketing and Expanding Your STEM Business, presented by Alexander Zhong, founder of Gym Visionary. At 7 p.m., you'll be continuing hacking. And next up, we'll have an Applying to College Q&A by Ashley Chu and Kuhu Sharma from the UC Berkeley Society of Women Engineers at 8 p.m. And at 9 p.m., we'll have the schedule for the live pitching taking place the next day released. So you'll get your exact timing of your 5-minute slot. And at the same time, you'll have a webinar presented by me called How to Pitch Your Hack, Tips and Tricks. So basically an overview of how to pitch your hack properly. And for 10 p.m., you'll be continuing to do your hacking. And at 12 a.m. midnight, if you're still awake, we'll have some fun games planned. On Sunday, August 8th, you'll have hacking starting at 6 a.m. or whenever you want, honestly. And your submissions will close at 9 a.m. And all projects must be submitted at this time, so it's kind of like a hard deadline. And at 9 a.m., live pitching will also start. So from 9 to 11:30, you'll be assigned your time slot the day before, so watch out for that. And at 10 a.m., we'll have kind of a simultaneous workshop for resume building and cover letters, how to write your cover letters with a focus on STEM. And when judging finish, we'll have a final workshop on how to get a job with no experience, presented by Romna Frolov, who is a senior software engineer at CodeSphere. And lastly, we'll have a closing ceremony at 12:30 p.m. With a special guest, Kaden Gualamani from the core team of XDX Mini to close off the hackathon.
All our packages that can be found on our Discord channel. Our team has created packages for schedules, participant packages, and hacker resource package and theme brief. If you can't find any of these packages, feel free to message us with the organizer role on Discord and we'll send you the link. We also have a bunch of special guests who will be speaking during the hackathon. We have Brenda Bailey, who's a Parliamentary Secretary for Technology and Innovation. We have Kevin Hodges, who is a senior software engineer at Riot Games. Leo Tian, who is XD Hacks Mini Core web developer. And we also have people who is a senior software engineer at CodeSphere, engineering manager at Microsoft, and also UC Berkeley Society Women Engineers. And for more details on workshops and their information and the time, it's all listed in the participant package that can be found on Discord or the email that we sent you. This year, Climate Code 2021 will be run on the following Zoom webinar link, as you can see on the screen. Some activities will be run on Zoom meeting platforms, while others will be on Discord. And you're given prior notice on Discord if that is the case. The theme for Climate Code 2021, hosted by XD Hacks Mini Vancouver, is environmental issues. Environmental issues refers to problems with the planet's system, air, water, and soil, that have developed as a result of human interference or mistreatment of the planet. The theme brief outlined in a link is intended to guide participants in creating a prototype to the vast environmental issues, and participants are encouraged to reveal all essential information below and conduct further research on their own topics of environmental issues. Information outlined on a document may be used for motivational ideas, and it should be revealed regularly as a basis for your hack.
All right, so please review the judging criteria attached to the participant package. You'll be judged on 5 criteria of design, prototyping, presenting, innovating, and practicality equally, with a perfect score being 500 out of 500. So for submissions, live judging will begin at 9 a.m. on Sunday, August 8th, Pacific time. You must submit your project then to be judged. The official platform for submitting projects will be on our sponsor, HackHub, which is a locally developed platform for hackathons. Please read through the following document, which is there on the screen, to create your account and team for the event. You should have received an email indicating that you've been added to our event, and you must use that same email that is receiving the email to log on to HackHub to access our event. So for live pitching, Climate Code 2021 will be running live virtual pitches on Sunday, August 8th. The pitching portion will be worth 20% of your final score, and teams will be provided with a 5-minute slot to pitch their hack between 9 a.m. and 11:30 a.m. Pacific Daylight Time on Sunday, August 8th. So please keep in mind the following. Firstly, the product should be a prototype and we're not looking for a ready-to-market product. And even if the program itself isn't finished, that's completely fine. Your submission should simply show your thinking process when tackling the theme of environmental issues and illustrate how you plan to tackle this theme at the beginnings of your solution. However, this isn't a case competition and we want to see some practical work or coding done. All work must be done during the hackathon period, which is from August 6th at 8 p.m. to August 8th at 9 a.m. And if you are unavailable during the judging period, which is from 9 a.m. to 11:30 at Sunday, August 8th, you must tell us via email to info@xdhacks.com before the live pitching schedule is released on Saturday, August 7th. All right, so your 10-minute presentation slot will be split into a 5-minute presentation, which includes screen sharing and or demoing, 3 minutes from the judges to question, and you must fill out the form by 5 p.m. Pacific Daylight Time on Saturday to sign up for live pitching. Without doing live pitching, you will not be eligible for prizes. Next is our academic honesty policy. So we hold all our participants accountable to not plagiarize or intentionally copy another person's work and take credit to it. According to the Oxford Dictionary, plagiarism is defined as presenting someone else's work or ideas as your own, with or without their consent, by incorporating it into your work without full acknowledgement. All published and unpublished material, whether in manuscript, printed, or electronic form, is covered under this definition. So if you do take inspiration from another work or use ideas from someone else's piece, please ensure you properly credit the creator in your presentation in some form and in the description of your project. There are various methods in which we can detect and identify plagiarized work or ideas. If the team or the judges have decided that this plagiarism was intentional, then your team will be disqualified from the event. And finally, eligibility. Climate Code 2021 is intended for high school students or younger as of the 2020 to 2021 school year. If you are not in high school during the 2020 to 2021 school year, you will not be allowed to participate. So we will be checking all winners for proof, so please don't make us have to find out. You are allowed to attend workshops, but we request that you do not submit a project. And finally, activities. We'll be hosting midnight games and bedtime movies at night in Pacific time on Discord. More information will also be posted on our Discord server.
Okay, so prizes. Good news, all participants do get prizes. So all participants will receive 1 month free access to all business plan features of the EcoAR platform, 1 free year of 1Password families, new signups only for all participants, free upgrades to Taskade Unlimited for a lifetime. Each student receives $120 in Sashido credits, a free .xyz domain name for all participants, access to Wolfram 1 for all participants for 30 days, unlimited access to Centered, and XD Hacks Mini Vancouver stickers for lower mainlands only. I know, amazing. So first place will receive 3 months free Centered premium memberships with a winner team, all team members. The Wolfram Award, all team members, Wolfram 1, personal edition, plus a 1-year subscription to Wolfram Alpha Pro, a $100 gift card of choice for one person, I believe. Climate Code 2021 t-shirt for lower mainland only. A Slingshot verified tag enables winners to skip the extensive interviews and tests to get in front of startups for all team members, and overall first place certificates for all team members. For second place, the second place team will receive $50 gift card of choice, the Wolfram Award for all team members, so the Wolfram 1 personal edition plus a 1-year subscription to Wolfram Alpha Pro, Climate Code 2021 t-shirt for lower mainlands only, and overall second place certificate for all team members. Third place, the third place team will receive a $25 gift card of choice, the Wolfram Award, all team members, so Wolfram 1 personal edition plus a 1-year subscription to Wolfram Alpha Pro, a Climate Code 2021 t-shirt for lower mainlands only, and overall third place certificate for all team members. And for prizes for beginner track, best beginner hack, start, Climate Code 2021 t-shirt for lower mainland only, $40 gift card of choice, and best beginner design certificate for all team members. To be eligible for this track, you must state at the start of the event that you are a beginner by filling out the submissions form with beginner listed. Other prizes. In addition, there will be prizes to be won for 4th to 6th place, best web design, best presentation, most innovative project, best design, best prototype, best practicality, and for raffles and giveaways.
We would like to thank our financial sponsors, Taking It Global, the Government of Canada, Fortis BC, Rising Youth, Canada Service Corps. Moving on, and our tech sponsors, Shasido.xyz, Wolfram Language, Echo AR, HackHub, 1Password, and finally our educational sponsors, Tuscade, Slingshot, EarthHacks, Panago, Centered, Script Foundation, and the Oath Project. Thank you.
Yeah, and then for social media, it is at XTX Mini _ event. Sorry, that's incorrect. And at Facebook at XTX Mini. Please check it out because we will be posting updates throughout the event. And that's the end of our opening ceremony. Now it's time for our keynote address by Brenda Bailey. And I will stop screen sharing. Or yeah.
Great, thank you very much and welcome everyone. Thank you very much for having me here and spending the Friday evening with me. I'd like to take a moment just to acknowledge that I'm speaking to you from my riding of Vancouver False Creek, which is on the traditional territory of the Musqueam, the Squamish, and the Tsleil-Waututh peoples. Thanks to Victor Zhang and the executive at XD Hacks Mini Vancouver for inviting me to speak to you at Climate Code 2021 Global Environmental Hackathon. I'd also like to thank all of the students that are attending, taking time from your summer holidays to spend your weekend at this hackathon. And I'm guessing you're here because you're either someone who cares about the environment or someone who cares about technology or both. I have a strong interest in technology and pretty much always have. And I want to share with you a little bit about sort of my journey in technology. And I know I'm probably the age of your parents or older, but I think a lot of the experiences that I had when I was in high school, some of them are still, things that are happening. So I'm going to share some thoughts with you about that and kind of my journey in technology quickly. When I was in high school, I really loved math and I loved astronomy and I loved video games. That was the biggest thing. I was brought up on a small town in Nanaimo. It was much smaller than it is now. And my hobby was to go to the arcade. I mean, it's hard for you guys to imagine probably, but back in the day, in the 80s when I was growing up, to play video games, you actually had to physically go to an arcade. We didn't have cell phones. We didn't have gaming systems at home. Those came in kind of the mid 80s, but they were pretty bad. So it was better to go to the arcade. And I spent all my time there. So probably some of you have seen Stranger Things. If you haven't, you should. It's really fun. And when you meet Mad Max, that person is very much like me when I was her age. And it was really fun. It was an amazing way to grow up. And back then, when you went into an arcade, it was about half girls and half guys. But that changed, and that changed in about 1984. Things started to be, by design, created for boys. And a lot of the products that I used to play kind of went away, and everything became focused on content that was designed for guys. And at the same time, it was really hard to find my way into technology because as a young woman, people tried to direct me into other areas. And that worked. I didn't go into technology. I didn't go into sciences and math. My first degree was in a Bachelor of Arts, and then I did a social work degree. And it took me quite a long time to find my way back to kind of where I think I probably always should have been. So I share this with you for a couple of reasons. One, I don't think it's quite as sexist as it used to be, but there's still a lot of that around. But there's other stereotypes that people are going to throw at you. And you might have a similar experience where folks suggest that you don't belong in technology. And one of the things I really want to communicate to you tonight is that you do. Everybody does. Everybody does. Technology isn't just for one type of person. And there's real risks to when only one type of person makes technology, because technology is consumed by everyone. So I just want to share with you that I think it's really important that if you run into barriers and are made to feel like you're not welcome, keep going and find a different spot, because there are people of all backgrounds and all races, genders, abilities, neurodiversity, all of it in technology, and it's only growing. That's changing and increasing day over day over day. I was successful to start a video game company. I did that in 2004. I started my first video game company. I did my degree in business. I did a business degree and became one of the founders of a company here in Yaletown. And that was a dream come true. We built games for the platforms back then were the DS and the PSP, and we built games for Major League Baseball. We built some racing games as well, one called Full Auto that did really well. And my second company was called Silicon Sisters, which was the first women-owned and run video game company. And I started that company largely because of my experience of being very often the only woman CEO when I was at video game conferences. And I'm really happy to tell you that's changing too. There are a lot more women who are running video game companies now. And I think it's really important to recognize that, video games are, I'm in love with video games, and I have been my whole life. They're a wonderful medium for telling stories and connecting to people and to connect with people's emotions. And I think that's what makes the hackathon that you guys are doing this weekend so powerful, because when you can connect to people's emotions, you can bring change. You can have people think about things differently. And so what an amazing way to connect with people about the environment. So super, super excited for you that you're doing this amazing hackathon this weekend. And I really hope that you really consider entering the video game or other areas of technology. So I feel really lucky to be a member of the government in British Columbia, and I was newly elected to politics just in last October. And being the parliamentary secretary for technology and innovation is a real honor for me. And I've been able to take my views on inclusion and work on them from a government perspective, because this is a government that really cares deeply about inclusion. We want to help people who are underrepresented, and we want to help them get their first job in the tech sector. So that's important to us. And I think it's really important to note that even if coding might not be your thing, maybe you're a digital artist, or maybe you're a program manager, or a sound designer, or maybe you're into marketing, or you're going to go into law or accounting, or like myself, business. You can be any of those things and have a really rewarding career in technology. So I think it's really important to keep that in mind as well. It doesn't just have to be the sort of stereotype of Sheldon from Big Bang, or whomever the stereotype you think of when you think of somebody working in the sector. There's just so many opportunities. In British Columbia, we have more than 11,000 companies in the tech sector, and that number is climbing all the time. There's more than 130,000 people who work in technology in British Columbia, and the wages are competitive and they keep going up. It's a really great place to build a career. There's a future for you in tech with meaningful, long-term, good jobs. It's also a great sector if you're interested in being an entrepreneur, if you want to create your own business with your own tech product or service. And technology is a sector that's only going to continue to grow. So one estimate is that there are going to be 75,000 additional jobs in tech in BC by 2029. And it's interesting to think about the projection that 2/3 of students entering elementary school today will work in jobs that do not currently exist. I mean, that's pretty mind-bending. They don't even exist, these jobs. And so how do you think about training or preparing for jobs that don't even exist? It's an interesting quandary, but the way to get those skills is through science, technology, engineering, and math. And when you think about design thinking, those are the kind of skills that are going to be in those new jobs, whatever they might end up being. So I think that a lot of you will be working in those new jobs. Your interest in this hackathon gives me that clue. It also reinforces the importance of pursuing the education that you need today to achieve your goals for tomorrow. So in conclusion, this weekend you're tackling an incredibly important subject for our world, how to help the environment and address climate change. And I'm sure you're seeing the impacts of climate change, as we all are. Here in BC, we've been experiencing more devastating wildfires, floods, and extreme heat. But you have the chance to come up with ideas for possible solutions for our real world problems. And as you work with the people on your team and you dream up ingenious ways to tackle the global climate crisis, imagine yourself doing interesting, creative, important work like this for the rest of your life. Listen to the guest speakers and let your imagination go. Have a wonderful time meeting and working with other innovators, and you never know who you might end up working with in the future. I wish you all the best at this hackathon, and thanks very much for having me here.
Yeah, thanks, Emily, Brenda, Bailey. Yeah, that was a wonderful speech. And thanks for coming to our event to speak. Yeah, and that concludes our opening ceremony. I hope everyone took some ideas and gained some inspiration from Emily, Brenda, Bailey's speech. And at 7:30 in about a minute, we'll have our first workshop by Earth Hacks. So feel free to join that. I believe it's on the other Zoom link. So go to Discord and you can join it from there. Yeah, and then just remember that submissions begin, you can start working your hackathon at 8 p.m. Up until 9 a.m. on Sunday. Yeah, and with that, hope everyone has a wonderful evening and see you in the next workshop.
Have an amazing time.
Bye.